Seventh, and we're building some equipment today. A lot of those boxes that we bought that you guys saw in the back of my truck in one of the earlier videos, I've been putting everything together, and I promised I'd show you how to do one of the boxes that I do. As you can see, I've been hard at it, making boxes, lots of boxes, getting ready for next year. So I'm getting ready to put together a super, and we are going to use my table saw here. But the only reason why we're going to use it is because it's got a nice square edge, and it holds everything together really good. I've got that, and I get my clamps, my long clamps, 24-inch clamps, and does a really good job. Or those are 30-inch clamps, and they do a really good job, and they put everything together. And I'm going to run through this, and I'm just going to show you how I do things. Okay. So first off, what I like to do is I like to get my pieces all set up so that I can just stand them up. And I take two of them. It doesn't matter whether it's the short side or if it's the long side. But I like to stand them up. Go ahead and put my glue on. I like using glue. I know some people say that you probably shouldn't use it, but because some glues contain formaldehyde in it. But you know what? I have found that with extractions and doing a lot and finding a lot of the bees where I find them, these bees can actually live through a lot of that stuff. And people have been using glue on their hives for quite a long time. I haven't had problem one with it, at least that I'm aware of. So again, I'm just using my finger. You saw that I did that in one of the other ones, one of my other videos, I think when I was putting the frames together. I like doing it this way. Just saves on the equipment that I have to have out here. Feel free to use a brush if you don't want the glue on your finger. Alright, so once I have that put together, I make sure that everything matches so that my hand grips are all the same. If you buy from Man Lake, they can only fit together one way because of the way that they put everything, that they mill all their stuff. It can only go together one way. So I just slide that one in there. Slide that one in there. Wipe off the rest of the glue off my finger. And I slide them together. So right now, what I do then is I go ahead and I set the board down, and I put it up against my backstop. I'm going to use the backstop as one edge, and I'm actually going to clamp the board to it. And my other edge, I just run it along the back edge of my saw here. And once it's all clamped down, this makes a really good square edge. Okay, so let me put it back up here and I'll start the clamping. You can see what I'm talking about. So the first thing I do is I take this and I put it actually on my my sliding arm and on the box itself. That way I'm actually squeezing the box to the arm. This helps me ensure that I have a nice, good square fit. I do this on both sides. I got the clamps at Harbor Freight. I like shopping at Harbor Freight. Their prices are really good, and their equipment is very good. I will advise everybody, though, to make sure that if you buy these clamps to do your own work, that you don't buy the ones with the plastic heads. It's $1 cheaper, but they break. So it really costs you a lot later on. Okay, so make sure that you get the ones that got the cast iron heads on them and the slides. They're much stronger and they're going to last you damn near forever. Okay, so now that I've got it hooked up to the back, I'm just going to push this over in place. Had a hammer around here. Okay, so I'm just going to push these over in place. Make sure that it's sitting nice and square. If you get too much of a bind on it, it's going to slide you out of place. Make sure I've got it. Don't want too much of a bind on it. Just, come on. Alright, just enough to hold it. There we go. And I'll show you what I've done. So, as you can see, I've clamped it to my sliding arm onto the box itself, and that pulls everything nice and tight up against the joints. Now I'm just going to run my next two clamps on this side just to pull those in. See, it's still on my line, still up against this. I'm nice and square. You throw my other one on like this. You can use one hand on these. Just slide it right up into place and screw it on down. So what I use, the screws that I like using, are the 1 5/8 inch prime guard exterior screw. You can get these from Lowe's. Unfortunately, screws are going up in price. I know you can use nails. Nails are fine if that's what you want to use. I prefer the screws. It holds it much better. And I don't have to worry about knocking my box out of square because I'm sitting here hammering on it. So I take screws and I just screw them in by hand a little bit. Okay. See? Now I'm outside my front yard. I do have a workshop, but you know, I prefer to do most of my work out here. I like being outside, and it just makes me happier to do my work out here. So I've got an old Black & Decker drill, 3/8 inch Phillips head. I love Black & Decker. You can't beat their tools. They're inexpensive and the things last forever. So once that we've got everything clamped, I've got it glued, I can just start running them in. Normally I would be holding this whole piece with my other hand, but I'm holding the camera. Now you want to make sure that you don't overscrew because you can split your work. Alright, kind of hard to reach this one in here, but I can get it started, and then once I remove the clamps, I can come back for it. So let me set it back up here real fast so that I've got free hands. finish running through it. Remember, that bottom one is just to grab into the wood and help hold it for when I start taking these frames off. So now that I've got the initial screws in, I can pop off my clamps, grab a couple more screws, slide it into the next available holes here, and continue on my way down. Alright, I can pop this clamp off, my long clamp. I know that everything is being held square for me. I can hit these next ones here. Okay. Pop the clamp. So, I'm nice and square now. So I can set everything up. I know that it's not going to fall. I can run all my pieces in. Hit the ones that are on the bottom. Finish putting them in. Now you got to be really careful on these end pieces right here, because if you push it too far in, you're going to split this wood out. You don't want to do that. So I like it till it just dimples the wood. Find that it works best, and then I can cover it up with paint. Alright. Okay. Now that I have it all screwed up, I like to take my staple gun using the same staples that I use for my frames, and I like to hit this little finger joint right here. I have found that it tends to weather, and when it weathers, it kind of rolls up. So I like to just throw 2 in each one. Where that had a problem. I'll have to fix that now. You see where it split the wood? So I have to pop those up and redo those 2. Never had it split the wood like that before. Alright. So once that's done, it's a simple matter of taking your box, setting it on your stack for painting, and then get to painting. So when I paint my boxes, I like to stack them. I find it really easy. I put it on my bench, and I'll make that stack, 7, 8 high, whatever I can reach, and I paint everything all at the same time. The paint, if you go to Lowe's, you can get exterior paint in the clearance section. It's normally only $5. Some of the stores may have it at $10, but I'm sure you could talk them down if you talk real nice to them. And you just have to keep an eye out if you want a particular color. But if you're not too choosy about the colors that you have on your hives, then any color will do. It's like this one was in 1 gallon painted not only all of these, but a whole nother hive that I've got someplace else before I was down to like this much in the can. And going through my shed, I found a gray one. I found a can of gray paint that I had bought, oh God, like 2 years ago. So I just mixed it up, and I've got some new green paint that we're painting my deck and stuff with, and I just added it to it, and it gave me this nice green color. So there you are, a way to make your frames, or make your supers and your deeps real fast. No fuss, no muss. That didn't take me very long, and there you have it. So this is Thurman from Burnley Farm Apiary, bringing you yet another YouTube video. Y'all take care.